One thing I noticed when looking at the Legend ZA Pokédex was just how many dinosaurs there were in this game. So I had a clear goal. I will build the ultimate team of dinosaur Pokemon to climb the ranks in the ZA Battle Royale. And once I'm at rank A, I'll use my wish to reverse the Big Bang, bringing back the golden age of the dinosaurs. Luckily for us, everyone's favorite bean-shaped sauropod is a starter option, and with it getting a Mega Evolution, I happily added Zoe the Chikorita to the team. And my first big goal was to make it to Professor Mabel, as this unlocks the trading option, which I used to get my second team member, Spiny the Totodile. And look, I know he's technically a crocodilian, which is more of a reptile, but what modern crocodile is moving like for alligator? This boy? He's a crocosaur. Also, there is a nickname theme for this video, and if you can guess it in the comments below, I will give it a love heart guaranteed. My dinos and I get our first official rank up match, and it's against Zach. But since he is a lowly Z rank trainer, I decide to go easy on him by only using Zoe. This wasn't a big problem for his Slowpoke, as a couple of well placed leafages can take it down. His Pidgey, however, is super annoying, as in between super effective gusts, it's lowering Zoe's attack with growls, so getting the KO is a very long process, and Zoe is left with just 6 HP by the end of it. Thankfully, his last Pokemon is just a weak little mammal, so we can barely squeeze out the win and rank up to rank Y. If the dinosaurs were alive today, their one big complaint would be lag. Thankfully, you don't have to worry about that thanks to GearUp and their new router, the HyperRev, a gaming router dedicated for console players. It helps reduce your ping and packet loss to its absolute lowest, even during peak hours, giving you the best chance to win those ranked games at any point in the day. It also offers basic NAT type optimization for free. This provides greater stability and lower latency, further improving your online gaming experience and your chances of winning in games like Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros, and even Legend ZA. Because with its new real-time battle system, you definitely don't want to be lagging. It even helps with cross-region play, making it easier and smoother than ever to play with your friends across the world. The HyperRev gaming router is the best way to enhance your online console gaming, and at a cost affordable price, especially from the 20th of November to the 1st of December, where the HyperRev will only cost you $39.99 if you live in the US. It's also endorsed by the world famous TSM, so you'd be crazy not to check out the link I left in the description below. Thank you to GearUp for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to our now lag-free adventure. I celebrate my first rank up by spending some quality time with my baby dinos, showing them the world that they will soon once again rule. And Zoe evolves into Bayleaf, and his dinosaur features are beginning to sprout as that iconic long neck is starting to grow. Hopefully our rank grows alongside it as I quickly approach Yvonne for our second rank up match. We are still in the lower ranks, so Yvonne's team is far from threatening, as Zoe is taking enough to deal with her fairy type Spritzy and Slurpuff. Her Vivian could have been an issue, but Spiny gets really lucky and gets a freeze with Ice Fang, so he's able to get the final KO with no problems at all, promoting us to rank X. Rank X is still at the bottom of the food chain, but Zavi has a pretty scary team, so it was a good time for Spiny to evolve into his second form, becoming a more juiced up Crocosaur. And while exploring the rooftops of Lumiose, I run into our third dino, a Larvitar I ironically name Ace, because it means first and it was third. I don't know if it's ironic or just a bad name, I don't know. He isn't very threatening right now, but trust me when I say he'll become one of the biggest and meanest dinos around. The team upgrades make Zavi look a lot less threatening, so I think I'm ready to ascend to rank W. Ace is able to get his first KO against Zavi's Venipede with Rock Slide and Sand Tomb. Zavi's Roselia, however, has a 4-time advantage against our Rock Dino, so I sended Spiny, who can 2-tap the plant with an Ice Fang and Slash combo. His Kadabra is a bit scary, so I send in our tank. It wasn't a quick knockout thanks to Reflect, but Zoe does get the job done, leaving Zavi with his Ace Furfrou, and is able to crush our tank with a stab takedown, so I send in Ace, who resists a good portion of the dog's moveset, but that doesn't stop it from doing a lot of damage, and Ace only wins thanks to a clutch 1 HP survival from takedown, which ends up getting the final hit with the recoil. And so we've reached rank W. Can I get some W's in the chat, please? Well, even if I don't get your W's, I do get to pick a Kanto starter. And well, Wikipedia says that Bulbasaur is, and I quote, a green creature resembling a dinosaur with a large plant bulb on its back. So Paris the Bulbasaur joins the D team. He's super cute jumping around, but I do need him to evolve pretty quickly, so I say goodbye to my cute little guy and say hello to the more awkward looking medium sized guy. Still cool though, still like him. I needed to evolve Paris to have a chance against Rentaro, who was rocking the triple monkey team. And I thought I was cooking here by giving Paris poison powder, because I was under the impression that I could just poison the Simisage while tanking its attacks that we 4 times resist, all while waiting for the poison to take its course. But grass types are immune to powder moves, which I forgot. I won't lie, I tried this a lot before realizing the problem, and in the end I had to bring out Spiny, who got pretty roughed up, but was able to take down his first monkey. Simipour is the least threatening of the 3, as Zoe easily proves his dino supremacy. And I really thought Simisear would be a real problem, but Ace puts in mad work here with Sand Tomb, doing consistent damage, while Rock Slide and Bite does massive burst, and all combined together he's able to win the battle. And we've reached rank V. After defeating Rentaro, we have to deal with a rogue Mega Absol, and sadly I am forced to use a filthy mammal. So we'll just pretend this never happened. We then have to battle Tawny, but even without Mega Evolving, I'm able to win with ease. Zoe beats Croconaw, Spiny checks Pignite, and Ace, despite his small stature, is able to wall and destroy her Mega Manectric. After beating Tawny, we attend a very important meeting with Vinny, who will rank skip us all the way to rank F if we beat him in a battle, drastically boosting the speed of our dino domination. For such an important battle, I needed to make sure my dinos were as strong as possible, so I head over to Wild Zone 8, home to 2 more dinos. The biggest catch is definitely Chomp the Gibble, though Ursula the Sandile was also a nice addition. I now have a full team of dinos, and they are certainly cute, but they still needed a power boost. First we evolve Zoe to Meganium, and then Ace to Pupitar, which isn't very dino shaped, but you know, let him cook, he'll be dino soon enough. Spiny then evolves into Feraligatr, and Chomp into Gabai. With the team hella beefed up, I was more than ready to take on Vinny, and I thought his Houndoom would be doomed against Chomp, but she is a bit underleveled, and a well-timed roar causes her to miss a crucial bulldoze, so she has to tap out the Ace, who can one-shot the dog with a plus boosted Rock Slide. I know Sharpedo is next, so I pre-switch into Zoe, who one-shots the squishy shark with a Giga Drain. His Baneri is just kind of fodder, but it did live longer than Sharpedo, so you know, there's that. Nevertheless, Vinny is now down to his final Pokemon, his Mega Drampa. Once again, my Poison Strat with Paris fails as it sets up a safeguard, making it immune to status conditions. And not even Zoe stood a chance against the hulking dragon, so I send in Spiny, who rapidly fires off all of his biting and slashing moves, and that finally gets the KO, winning the battle and promoting us all the way to rank F, bringing us multiple steps closer to reviving the dinosaurs. And I mean that literally, as our new rank unlocks the ability to revive fossils, which means we can add Terry the Tyrant, Laura the Remora, and Seth the Aerodactyl to the team. Look at them. They're freaking beautiful. I spend some time grinding up the team, leading to Paris evolving into Venusaur, Ursula into Crocorock, Laura into Auroris, and at last but not least, Terry into Tyrantrum. And with another round of upgrades, we are now set off to deal with the threat of Rogue Megas. And well, Slowbro wasn't really a threat at all, thanks to Zoe being an absolute king, especially with his awesome new Mega Evolution, which might be my favorite between the 3 starters. It's just so pretty and so tanky. Do let me know your favorite in the comments though. Zoe is so tanky in fact that we beat Slowbro with full HP, which is kind of crazy. Spiny could then easily deal with Camerupt thanks to its 4 times weakness to water, and I really thought Mega Victory Bell would be a massive problem for the team, but Seth's Mega Evolution made this battle way easier than predicted. Not that I'm complaining, because I can now focus on my main goal of getting rank A. That's what I thought anyway, but I'm interrupted by Zygarde, who demands a battle. But it's honestly super embarrassing as Seth just solos the legendary. Not as embarrassing as Naveen being a super simp for Canary, who just happens to be our next promotion match opponent. Naveen refuses to give us the info we need to battle her, so to shake it out of him, my dinos trample his whole team. He then gives us the location of the Canary quiz, which we pass with flying colors. But to decide who gets to meet up with her, I do have to beat one of her super fans. But it's also a pretty easy fight thanks to all the ground types on my team, and we can finally challenge Canary. Or so you'd think. But no, we have to battle her grandpa first. Luckily, his ground types are hard countered by Zoe, and even his Mega Excadrill stood no chance against my Mega Plant Dinosaur. And with all these random battles, Ursula can evolve into her final form, becoming the incredible crocodile, who in my opinion resembles the Sarcosuchus. Sarcosuchus. I hope I pronounced that right. I can barely pronounce English words most of the time. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's finally time to challenge Canary, and with her new evolution, Ursula can destroy her. Dig one-shots Heliolisk, Ampharos sets up a Cotton Guard, making it way tankier, but in the end it does fall to a crunch. Stunfisk gets comboed by Sand Tomb and Dig, and this leaves Canary with a Mega Electros, which is scarier on paper than in practice, as a plus boosted Dig almost one-shots it, so we just clean it up with a Sand Tomb, winning the match and promoting us to rank E. There is a new wave of rogue megas that we have to deal with, but these didn't cause too many issues as Laura and Terry hit Beedrill with a Dino double team. Bayonet was actually super scary with it almost killing both Ursula and Seth, but in the end Spiny had to pick up the slack to calm it down. And with his new fairy typing, when Mega evolved, Zoe is able to easily handle Mega Hull Launcher. With the newest wave of Megas dealt with, I was more than ready for my next promotion match against Eyeball. Sadly though, his sister Gwen is missing, so instead of a battle, we are forced to do some free labor, eventually tracking her down to the Lumio sewers. And she refuses to come back with us unless we beat her in a battle. But that's an easy task with Ursula snacking on her Bayonet and Gorgeist, leaving her with her Mega Chandelure. And thanks to a well-timed protect on Gwen's part, and just awful positioning on my part, her Chandelure is able to beat Seth, and so to avenge his fossil friend, Terry comes in with a plus boosted Rock Slide to clutch up the battle. With Gwen safely returned home, we can now have our promotion match against Ivor, and he leads with Heracross, who I thought Seth could just one-shot with Wing Attack, but it survives with legit 1 HP, and is even able to take Seth out of the fight before falling to a Fire Fang. With Seth unable to fight, I send in Zoe, who can once again abuse his new fairy typing, and even though Medicham blocked Dazzling Gleam with Protect, it couldn't handle the power of our Flower Dino. Machamp then barely survives a Gleam before Leaf Blade finishes it off, and Ivor's ace is a Mega Phalanx, and it's the only Pokemon on his team to get one shot, which I'd imagine is a little depressing for the little guys. I'm sorry. With that victory, we have achieved rank D, and we can head over to Area 14 to pick up Max the Laron, which resembles the Ankylosaurus, but when we evolve him into Aggron, it more resembles a bipedal Triceratops instead. Now in my last video, I did talk a lot of smack about Aggron, so I'm hoping it proves me wrong this time around. Oh, and Chomp evolved into the overpowered and epically epic Garchomp, and I've heard good things about its Mega in this game, so I'm pretty excited to see how OP she'll be. In less exciting news, we learn about Tawny's debt to the Rust Syndicate, which leads us into a confrontation against Philippe. And this battle is once again the most annoying in the whole run. Spiny can win the 1v1 against Steelix, but he's essentially retired from the fight. Scizor is next, and I expected a 4-time super effective Fire Fang to do more damage, but in the end, Seth gets murked. So I bring in Max to pick up the slack, and he does a great job taking down the Iron Bug. Philippe then sends in the most annoying Mega of all time, his Mega Skarmory. And Fire Fang is doing really good damage, but it is able to tank Chomp's attacks and eventually take her down. So I send in my Slander victim, and I Mega Max boosting his defenses. And even though he gets a bit stuck on the fence, he is able to finish up the fight with a Rock Slide and an Iron Head. And even after beating him, Tawny's debt is still considered unpaid, and we're introduced to the boss of the Rust Syndicate, who at least seems reasonable enough to notice that we don't have that kind of cash on us, so instead he tells us that we have to work off the debt instead. But now though, I'm just doing work for the love of the game because I've got 3 more rogue Megas to take care of. Luckily though, Zoe can solo both Mega Barbaracle and Mega Ampharos for 2 really easy battles. Mega Morwile on the other hand was soloed by Max, and after all that, we get sent on more random jobs from Corbeau. I promise debt will be the first thing abolished in the dinosaur-ruled world. But now though, mammals are king, so we have to follow their stupid rules. And alas, we must work. We clear out a bunch of squatting Gengar, clean up the Mega Shards in the sewer, defeat some bum-ass trainers, then finally protect the mayor from protesters. In the end, our debt is cleared and Corbeau ends up being our next promotion match. And my D team is looking super strong, so I wasn't all that worried. As Chomp handles Arbok, Laura comes really close to getting her first win in a 1v1, but Spiny does end up coming in to finish off Gyarados. Roserade is next, but Seth moves too quick and hits too hard for it to keep up, leaving Corbeau with his Scolipede. So I Mega Evolve Max, who goes demon mode on the bug, tanking a 4x super effective Earthquake like it's nothing before getting the KO with an Iron Head. This victory promotes us to rank C, and we are now within the top 3 ranks of the ZA Royale, and this has gotten the attention of Jacinth, who invites us and many of our friends to a tournament, and I was actually pretty excited for this. Look, I even dressed up. But my fun gets ruined by some random rogue megas, and we have to ditch the tournament, which Lilbane seems worried about, and we'll soon see why. Because after we defeat Mega Altaria, a hologram of Jacinth appears behind us, so yeah, we're being digitally stalked, which is a little unsettling. This continues with the other Megas as well, and we're eventually confronted by Lilbane, who tries to force us back to the tournament with a battle, not knowing that we were already planning to come back anyway. I mean, look my suit, man. So I guess we do have to take her down. Laura is finally able to win her first 1v1 against Noivern, and all it took was a 4x advantage. She then sends in her Tyrantrum, so I Mega Evolve Chomp, and Tyrantrum does way more damage than I anticipated, but Chomp does win the fight with Dig. Zoe then walls Lilbane's own Garchomp, leaving her with her Ace Mega Dragalge, which does look pretty cool, but it doesn't stick around for long, as Dragon Claw almost one-shots it before being cleaned up by Bulldoze. And so we make our way back to the tournament, and all the previous fights remain the same, so I'll just skip to the main event, the battle against Jacinth. This is Max's time to shine as he one-shots Carbink with an Iron Tail, and I decide to save his HP for later in the fight, so I send in Chomp to deal with more Wild. It's then a battle of the Sauropods as Zoe and Auroras clash, but ultimately Zoe has the stronger neck. I then switch back into Max, who one-shots Gardevoir and two-shots her Mega Clefable. And with that, I'd like to apologize for my previous comments against Aggron. Without Max, we wouldn't have made it to rank B. We are now one last promotion match away from rank A, so it's the perfect time to evolve Ace into his final form Tyranitar. And oh yeah, that's a dinosaur shaped fella. We then defeat the final 3 rogue megas. We then learn that the identity of the final promotion opponent is Grisham, an ex-member of Team Flare. And oh boy is he worthy of his high rank, his team is pretty insane. But I believe in my dinos. Zoe is able to destroy his angry panda, but Pyroar is the one mammal Zoe can't handle, so I send in Ace, and Pyroar puts up a much bigger fight than I thought it would. I'm now actually convinced that the Billion Lions could win. Ultimately, Ace does come out on top, and Malamar is out next, so it's back into Zoe, who once again uses her fairy type moves to get the KO. Grisham then sends in his own Tyranitar, so I send in the unsung hero of the run, Max. And even with Tyranitar landing a nasty Earthquake, Max pulls through and defeats the pseudo legend, only for him to send out another one. Terry is able to half-shot the Salamence before being crushed by a Draco Meteor, just like the ancestors before him. Kind of a tragic way to go out. Chomp is able to finish what Terry started, and then we Mega Evolve Chomp to prepare for Grisham's Mega Charizard. And with it being a Dragon Fire type, Chomp is pretty well suited for this battle, and it's over in a matter of seconds, with Dig doing massive damage into Bulldoze to finish it off, and we have reached rank A. Sadly, our wish can't be granted just yet, as Tawny has also reached rank A, so we still don't know who's worthy of the wish. The only way to sort this out is with a good old-fashioned Pokemon battle, and her Meowstic is crushed by Ace's might, but her Grudra quickly evens the score as I send Terry into another Draco Meteor, instantly killing him. It's like his destined death, I don't know. Spiny is eager to avenge his friend, so he gets the slug low with a couple of ice fangs before an Aqua Jet gets the KO. Manectric then enters the field, but Chomp just one-shots it with a sneaky dig, and Avalugg is a really bad matchup for my ground dragon, so I switch into the Goat Max. And it's a long battle thanks to the Ice Table's defense stat, but he is able to take it down without any threat to his own life. Feraligatr is a bit more of a problem for Max, but it's no issue for Zoe, as a volley of grass type attacks chop down the Crocosaurus. Tawny is now left with her final Pokemon, so we both Mega Evolve. I evolve Chomp and she evolves her Emvor, but Chomp is just a straight out monster, and is able to end the Mega with a combo of Bulldoze and Dig, proving that we are in fact the strongest trainer in the ZA Royale, and we're able to reverse the effects of the Big Bang, changing the course of the world, giving it back to the dinosaurs. I thought ending the run after the final Tawny battle would be best, as the rest of the game doesn't really have a real battle to end it off with. So if you did enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I also think you will like this Alpha Sapphire video and my Shiny Only ZA video, so check those out. Anyway guys, as always, stay safe, be kind, and I'll see you all next time.